in this square is supposed to be a 2 foot tall or 2.5 foot tall octopus tower. Notice that the octopus tower is not there. Tank is filled up with water, it's up and running, but there is no tower. In the last video I mentioned, we ran into a problem. Here's what happened. To be fair, I just got excited. As soon as I had sand in the tank, I just really wanted to start working on the rock work that was supposed to support the actual octopus tank. It has to be elevated off the substrate in order for the octopus to get up into it and travel up through and above the aquarium itself. So I took a bunch of rocks and kind of started to build like a perimeter around it, and then kind of sort of balanced it on it. Outside of the tank, it worked really well, sort of. And then I kept adding more and more rocks, and I just ended up hating it. We're never gonna see the octopus, it's just gonna be hiding in those rocks. So I started over, and I realized that when I'm trying to hold this up, which is going to weigh 80 pounds when it's filled with water, I realized that less was more. Less rocks was easier on this and more stable than to have a larger pile. I thought a larger pile was aesthetically better looking, sort of, but I'm looking for safety. I don't want this to tip over, smash the tank, hurt the fish, or anything like that. So I took 2 rocks and I balanced this perfectly on it, and then I stood on it. It's only supposed to support 80 pounds, and I weigh more than double that, so it's definitely going to do it. In my haste though, and getting it back into the tank, I wanted to test it out. Fill the tank up, see if this is going to look good, if I can get the air out. And I was like, no problem, I'll just stick an airline hose up into it and suck the air out. Not a big deal. There's no way I'm gonna get an airline hose 28 inches up there when I can only kind of stick it in through the bottom. Can't get my hand in because it's only a couple inches off the ground. But I did get it to about 3/4 full, and I let it just sit like that, and I monitored to see if the water level would drop, because if the water level drops in the tower, that means there's like a pinhole in here that maybe water won't leak out of, but once we create all that suction, it's definitely going to draw in air. Stood the test of time for like a week. But alas, I need a better way and a better method of getting the air in and out of there. So I got some clear airline hose and I simply cemented it inside into the back corner. You can't even really see it. It just looks like a crappy seam at this point. But it'll allow me to suck air out whenever I need to, because if I ever need to clean this, I just gotta rip it out, hand clean it, and put it back in, suck the air out. I want that part to be easy. And with it done, now comes the test of, can I get it back to where it was earlier? And there is a bit of a space, around this that the octopus can kind of get out of if he wanted to. Look, it's already got, so I've got the airline, look, it's just gonna float. Unless I have this valve opened up and it can gas out the air. And you see the air pocket that's that is trapped under there? The pressure's actually pushing up. And look. Can you hear that? I don't know if you can. That's the water coming up out of this, or the air being pushed out of it, out from the top. Just gonna give it a minute to kind of drain. Maybe this will be faster. Oh yeah, it's way faster. We're doing this like kind of live. This is my first time testing it. Obviously, it was dry. Just cemented it in. Hopefully you guys can see this. Let's hear a clunk. Yep. So all the air is now out. So now I just got to balance it on the rocks like it was previously, which isn't an easy feat. It has to be exactly where it was. I think I did it. Never mind, it's easier than I thought. Now, I have an aqua lifter pump somewhere, which allows you to suck water out of airline tubes and kind of pump it somewhere else if you want to, but for the life of me, I don't know where it is. So I'm gonna have to do this manually by my mouth, and no pun intended, but this is gonna suck. It's gonna take me a while. Ugh. See what's happening though? Oh no, where'd that valve go? So as I'm sucking, all I'm doing, I'm sucking the air out from the top, and it's being replaced by the water below it. Now, in between breaths, if I take my thumb off it, watch this. The water level is just gonna go down. I don't wanna wait. That's like blowing up a balloon and then letting the air out and then having to do it again. I don't wanna do that too many times. Ugh. I got a tiny little ball valve on the end of this so that when I'm done sucking on it, I just turn it off. hide that behind the tank or something like that. This is going way faster than I thought it would. A little wobbly there. Why are you wobbly? You were not wobbly before. Aha! It's the rock itself. I hammered these rocks and kind of shaped them so you wouldn't see the grooves of how this is actually sitting on here, but I gotta get them into those grooves. Oh, did it just hit it? Yeah, I know when it gets in there because it just like hits that groove perfect. There. See? See, now it doesn't move. Gotta hit those grooves. Just perfect. It looks like it's like a balancing act under there. I'll show you here in a second, but it's perfect. It gets harder to remove the air as it gets higher. I'm getting dizzy. Is this recording? Oh my God, imagine if it wasn't. I do that a lot. That's perfect. I could go higher, I guess. Okay, I'll show you what's going on here. So now it's filled with water, but not all the way to the top. And there's the airline hose in the back. You can kind of notice it sort of, I guess, but not that much. I mean, I can't. It's got a lot of fingerprints all over it and whatnot, but yeah, I guess it's like more pronounced this way. But it's level too, look. So some people were worried about this. Octopus getting out of this gap here. You see that gap? It's a bit of a gap. Not in the back though. So that was the one thing that I wanted to do, was push it to the back of it so the brace kind of supports it as well, sort of. Just kind of holds it up straight. And then I have to deal with just the perimeter. So what I come up with was the letter U. You inspired me to do this. A couple pieces of acrylic just silicone or cemented together. That's it. It's not pretty, but once I'm sold on it 100%, I'll likely cement this brace here, or this like little U thing to it. Of course it could be moved, but I'll likely weigh it down too. I'll cement it to the actual tower. I'd have to flame polish it too. Like I just made this the other day. So I gotta flame polish it so it's not like that, and it's more like the seams of this tank. But that is the Octopus Tower. Now, here's the bottom of it. You can see that it's like a literal balancing act. I know that it looks dangerous, seems dangerous, but I can't move it. A tiny little octopus isn't gonna be able to move it either. Some people were worried about it lifting it up. So filled, that is now this weighs 80 pounds. It's 7.5 gallons, or I forget how many gallons in it, but I did the math and it was 80 pounds. I think 7.5 gallons is something else I'm working on that's similar to this thing, but more complicated. Anyways, plenty of room. We zoom in here. Plenty of room and areas for the octopus to actually get up inside of it. Now, there is like a little cave system for him to hide and feel more natural, but as you can see, like it's a natural progression to kind of go up into it. Now, I've recently thought about like, if he doesn't go up onto it on his own, I can put stuff in it. Maybe I can put some floating food in it, or perhaps we just go with maybe some like baby rings for it to go up and attach to, make them colorful. They're typically attracted to certain colors, so we'll figure something else out there. But it's as easy as draining that. Basically, I just let the air out. The sump will take all that extra water, and we could do whatever we want with the tower, then just lift it out, it'd be light. But that's it. That is the Octopus Tower. This is completed, and I love it. I kind of like that you can't really see the tower too, depending on the angle that you're on. Well, I mean, you guys know it's there because we talked about it. No, you can definitely see that tower. Well, clearly up here. It's just like, what the heck is that? It's so interesting, it's so fun, so different. Comes right up through the tank. Isn't that cool? I know it's not that complicated or that crazy, but for somebody in there, you know, with basic tools and stuff, I mean, anybody could do this. Now, it just needs an octopus, obviously. Oh, and its lids, which we'll have to weigh down. You guys seen this in the last video. Now it just needs an octopus, much like this guy right here. I have a toy version of, and this is like a embarrassing admission, but I have a toy version of almost every fish that I have. I don't know why I do it, but it's like my thing. But anyways, let's just imagine. If I can get him to stand up. You see him? That's kind of why I got it. So cool. Maybe like that for the thumbnail. You can't even see it. My octopus is too little. I have the world's smallest octopus. Actually, it's quite big. But yeah, this will be super cool. It'll be interesting to see what happens if he does try to get out, if he does see other fish. A lot of octopus tend to try to escape their environment if they can see other fish, and giving him a lookout will definitely entice him. But I wish him luck. I mean, I proofed this as much as I could. Time will tell, and I think that we could face more challenges and or have to overcome more things to suit the octopus, but it's gonna be here in like a week. So if you guys want to join me on that new journey, make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. I'll admit right from the jump, I'm a little nervous. What did you just see? How much of that did you just see? Just pretend like it never happened, edit that out. One of the things that I'm worried about, and to be completely fair and honest, is that I don't have the octopus with me. I don't have it on me. It's not at the store to go pick up. I know a lot of people that do get octopuses will like go to a store and just buy it from the store. It's already healthy and eating. These guys are being imported and they don't ship well. So hopefully, I'm nervous. Hopefully they arrive okay. You know, to be fair, I don't care if the octopus goes in this tank. I mean, we could put anything in it. It's still gonna be a cool tank. I just don't want it. I just feel guilty for like ordering in a fish and then it dies when it didn't have to, but I mean, we all take that risk, especially just being in the hobby. That's part of it, I guess. You know, you go to your fish store, they had deaths trying to get fish into you. You understand. Anyways, guys, now I just stressed myself out. Do I have any beer? I don't. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys shortly. I don't know when. I'll show you Kevin real quick. Your boy Kevin got a tank to himself right now. Well, he's got some other guys in there with him, but he just doesn't want anybody to forget about him. He knows that there's going to be other saltwater feature fish like sharks and, you know, octopus, but please don't forget about his gut, is all he asks, and his chubby cheeks. Please. Shoot, before you guys go, once I find the aqua lifter, you know, the thing I talked about that sucks the water out and air, once I find that, or once I get another one, whatever comes first, I'll be able to have an air stone underneath the tower pumping in air at the same time it's being removed at the top. So that will aid in circulation in the tower so the water doesn't get stale, because technically it can. That's all.